jirani yako mkono wa baraka.
Samewa moyo.
Mpe jirani yako mkono wa biashara.
Samewa moyo.
Mpe jirani yako mkono wa connection.
Samewa moyo.
Mpe jirani yako mkono wa kuinuliwa.
Samewa moyo.
Mpe jirani yako mkono wa pesa.
Samewa moyo.
Ayekelekele.
Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele.
Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele.
Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele.
Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele ya mwisho.
Samewa
Bariki,
moyo.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki,
Yesu.
bariki.
Yesu.
Luwe, luwe, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe Jesi, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe, luwe, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe Jesi, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe, luwe, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe Jesi, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe, luwe, luwe,
Luwe.
luwe Jesi ya mwisho.
Luwe.
Ayekelekele.
Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele.
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 Samewa moyo.
Yekelekele. Samewa moyo. Piga makofi yako kwa Yesu. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Karibu sana. Pigeni pala pala makofi.
Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. In Athi River, like we said, we praise the Lord. We pray for food and then we praise the Lord for food. Amen. Sawa sawa. We just want to get rolling. I know we are behind time a bit. So we're going to have our final presenter. But before our final facilitator, would like to give some time to one of our partners. Like we said, we have not carried this burden alone. Amen. So Shekinah Sacco is familiar with many, but not all of you. So I'd just like to invite the chairman of Shekinah Sacco to take us through that. So he'll make a presentation on the same, invite questions and answers, and also just a reminder, they have staff. They have a table behind there, where, and the table is being manned by some of their staff. So any questions that will not be answered here, or any clarifications that may need maybe a deeper dive, you can engage their staff. But also feel free after the presentation to ask maybe questions that can be addressed here. Karibu Chairman.
Good afternoon. Afternoon again. Asante sana. My name is John Mwaura. I'm the chairman of Shekinah Sacco. And I came with a few members of the committee. I was with the vice chair, Pamela Rujaro, who has asked for off. She's supposed to travel. Then I have, where are they? Bilha is here. Bilha Moody. She was around. I can also see Tom. Amoro is also one of us. We also have a star behind there. It's called Paul. We came here to talk to you as leaders of the cooperative, which belongs to us. You know, cooperatives are different. There are different cooperatives. You find there are cooperatives that are dealing in farming, milk, fisheries, and others, and transport and others. But in our case, we are a savings and credit cooperative society, which is called SACCO. It's called a SACCO. As a SACCO, we do receive savings from the members and also give out credit. This idea came to our bishop, Dr. A.L. Otivi, way back in 2007. That is when he came with an idea that we need to have a SACCO in our church. And at that time, I happened to have worked in the cooperative movement. He called me and told me now, it's high time we need to start a SACCO here. We did that, and I have seen some of the pioneer members who are leaders that time. I've seen Sister Joyce, I think who is with us here. Please, let's help you stand up. She's a pioneer leader, a pioneer director in our Shekinah SACCO. We also have Pastor Jonathan, who is also a pioneer. He's there. This, and among others, myself included, are the people who sat down and came up with our SACCO. Our SACCO, basically, the objectives, as I've said, because I've given very little time to talk, is just to receive money from the members, let me say money, which are in form of savings and deposit, and at the same time, be able to give our members affordable credit. This is a practice that we have been doing since 2007 to date. And we are still doing that. And we'll continue to do the same. We have, I can mention a few other members who are there. I remember, sorry, Treasurer, you are also a pioneer. I almost forgot. And Treasurer, our Treasurer is Jafet Musau. He's here, you can stand up. He's also one of the pioneer members. We had a number of others who are not with us here. Currently, I am the chairman, and he's the treasurer currently. We have other members, like Pamela just said, she is the vice chair. To Friday, as well as on Sunday. Sunday we are there from 11 to noon. We have a vision, which is to be the most customer-centric SACCO, legionary, through provision of timely and dynamic financial services. That's our vision. We have a mission to strive to transform members' lives financially by creating opportunities, growth, empowerment through innovative services and products. This is what we are doing. And as you go on, you'll see the kind of products that we give to our members. We have values: honesty, equity, integrity, respect, and service. Those are our values. We also do have the cooperative principles. These are practiced internationally. These are the principles that came about when the corporate movement was started way back many, many years ago. Here in Kenya, we are told the cooperative movement has been there for the last like 115 years. It has been there for all those years. And these are the principles that are practiced in all cooperatives. Maybe others don't practice, but they're supposed to do that. One, okay, fine, we can move ahead. Just move ahead. We have the member registration, and I'll take you through how to become a member. One is a person shall not be qualified for a member unless he's an ordinary Kenyan. Two, he has attained the age of 18 years. He is of good character and studying. Membership shall consist of the following members. Members of all our churches. Like we have members drawn from HOT, headquarters. We have members here. We have members in Kasarani, members in Nakuru, Kisumu, and all over. But later on, we opened up. We said now we cannot just live alone. We want to go out and open up to the general membership to the public. We did that a few years ago, and you're able now to have a bigger catchment area. We recruit all over. We also have those members who are within reach, within our area, plus other members drawn even from outside the area where we operate. How to become a member? You fill in a form, a membership form, and we have a desk behind there. In case you want to become a member, you can approach one of us there. We have Paul, we have Tom back there. And once you fill in the forms, you have to pay an unrefundable fee of 500 shillings. You also have to pay 200 shillings for the bylaws. You attach a copy of your ID, 2 pairs of colored photographs, KRA certificate PIN, and for children who are below 18, the parents are the people who sign for that kind of membership because they are below 18. Since inception, we've been able to recruit 825 members. The numbers have been growing gradually, and we are still hoping that before we leave here, we'll be able to get members join our circle. And I don't know, as I speak, I think it's good for me to know the members that are present here. Can I see by a show of hand, please? So that I know whom I'm speaking to. Let's see. I can see quite a good number. Thank you very much for that. So the rest, who are not members, we are here to convince you, to show you that this circle is there for all of us, is run very well, very, very well. We have not had any instances of money getting lost, or fraud, or anything, or to be discontinued, to be liquidated, or anything. There is nothing of that nature in our circle. It's well run. And the model of how we run the circle is that we ask members, once you join, you form a house. Why are we doing this? We do this because there are circles who have what we call a check-off system. Maybe those would not lift up their hand. They are still working somewhere, and they are members of a circle where they work. They are deducted their shares, their loan, whatever, from their pay, through their pay slip. In our case, we don't ask you where you work. You just join and form a house of 2 members to 10. Name your house, call it a name, give it to us. Elect a chair, elect a secretary who will keep records. That's all what we need. And when you start applying for a loan, all those members within that house will guarantee you the loan. This is how we operate. But you'll see later on, we have come up with a product where you can start our own member. We just start our own. We don't want to be with somebody. In this case now, probably you borrow your savings, a certain percentage of your savings, or you come apply for a loan based on a collateral. A collateral would be either logbook of your car or title deed. This is something that is coming up, and we are doing so that we are able to help a member who does not want to belong to others. Does not want to work hard with others. But remember what we were told by our treasurer here about that two are better than one. So when you stand alone, you still have some challenges. Thank you. We have insurance. There's a time we sat and said now we need to cover our members in case of death. This one is in force. We pay 50,000 shillings to the next of kin in case a member passes on. And the spouse of that member. The spouse. In case a spouse passes on, in case a child passes on, and the number of children are 4. We have indicated there. There's also the benefit is 50 for all. It is spread to all in case one of them passes on. We took a cover with Britam Insurance. We called CIC, we called Cusco Mutual, the ones who are here, and Britam. We interviewed them and picked the best. And it is Britam whom we picked. So we ask you, if you are a member, please update us with your next of kin details and your beneficiaries in case something happens. There's also CIC, Loan Guard. Loan Guard, that one has been taken to cater for our loan. In case a member passes on and has a loan, that loan is paid off by the insurance. And this Britam product has not come for free. It's not a free product. Every member is supposed to contribute 100 shillings per month to cater for that product. We had an education day sometimes, middle of this year, I think September. We convened the members, did what we call outside their public participation. And members agreed, we moved that direction. And from that date, we said every member must pay 100 shillings per month. In case you not have paid and you are covered, at the end of the year, we are going to deduct 1,200 to cater for that product in case something happens. Loan products. We have several loan products. We have development loan, which you can apply at your own time, and the multiplier is 2.5 of your savings. 2.5 is a multiplier of that particular product, and you pay within that 6 months. And the rates of interest, we charge 12% per annum, equivalent to 1% on reducing balance. Very cheap loan, very cheap compared to what is in the market today. Since, for the last 15 years, since this circle was registered, we have never increased that interest rate, no matter what is happening outside. We are still there because we know we want to uplift the welfare of our members. We are not like people in business. We want to uplift the welfare of our members. We have emergency loan. In case you have an emergency, we consider that loan depending on the capacity of the house. The multiplier is still 2.5, and you pay within 12 months. We also have school fees. Multiplier is the same, repayable within 12 months. And we have something we call refinancing. In case you had a project which you had took through the money you borrowed from us, you are not able to complete, you can come to us, we give you a refinancing. We'll give you the difference that you have paid. That is also there. The multiplier is the same, and repayable within that 6 months. We also consider LPO loan to the businessmen, those people who do business, and you have an LPO to supply goods to the county, government, to whoever, give us the LPO, we finance you, and then you'll be able to pay with that loan within 6 months. We've been doing it. Another very famous product, it's very young, not very old, it's called Shika Pesa. Shika Pesa, hiyo unakaa tu pahali huko, unaenda kwa mtandao, unaitisha pesa kwa sako unapewa. Hiyo ulizi nani, ulizi garanta akusainia, hiyo ni yako. Ni 15 to 50,000. Sasa kama sasa tunaelekea Christmas, nataka kutreat watu yako. You don't have to say ati hakuna pesa. Pesa iko. But this is only applicable to who? A member. So if you are not a member, you don't get it. Sio ile ingine ya kila mtu inaitwa nini? The other ones in the applications. Fulisa, hizo zingine ziko za kila mtu. But here for you to benefit this Shika Pesa, you have first of all to register and be an active member. If you are an active member, you went to sleep. You don't contribute. January to date, you cannot get Shika Pesa. Tutakuongeza mzigo. Hiyo hatufanyi. So we have been able to look at our records and there are few who are very good. Hawa ndio wale watu wana benefit kwa hii Shika Pesa. So what we are saying is, if you are a member and if you are going to join, just be consistent in your contribution every month. 1,000. I forgot to say, every month is the minimum contribution. Kila mwezi tupatie wa 1,000. Uta enjoy all these facilities. And when forming a house, don't look for every person passing by. Nataka tushikane na wewe. For the 15 years I've been a leader in this circle, I know people sometimes start off and end up very badly because they don't check the composition of the house. Look for somebody close to you, very close to you. Just in case of anything, atasimama na wewe. Usishike tu mtu tu kwa ajili umwambie kuja tushikane na wewe to form a house. Huyo mtu saa hiyo anaongea vizuri. Sometimes later on atakuja kukuacha na anaenda. So, as you form that house, please, I request you to look at the person whom you want to work with. This is a long journey we are working together. Thank you. Data on loans. We've been able to give loans on demand. There's no single day Shekinah has failed to consider a loan unless you don't qualify. Unless you are disqualified because of several reasons. But if your records are clean, you come like tomorrow on a Sunday, present your form to the office. As you go home, unaenda nyumbani na cheki yako, John. Unasikia? Unakuja na form asubuhi, unapeana before we start the service, peana hapo kwa secretary, that is why we open on Sundays from 11 after first service, peana form yako, give them 1 hour, rudi tena. We are always there with the treasurer and Faiz and somebody else to sign, the secretary. We sign you, we give you a check. This is how we operate. There's no queue. Hakuna kugojea ati mimi niko namba 2, niko 10, niko 50, 60. There's no waiting period. So consider that. Then, since inception, the money that has gone to the pockets of our members is very near 200 million. Clap for that. What is the figure? 180 something million. 183 million is the money that has gone to the pockets of the members. Not everybody in church. No. Only those who are members of Shekinah. Me included, Joyce included, Pastor Jonathan included, treasurer and others. All those who raise up their hands. Most of them have enjoyed loans from us. Quietly. Unaona tu mtu anakuja anaendesha gari yake Sunday. Gari mpya KD something huko isijui imefika wapi na hujui imetoka wapi. It's from Shekinah but it's very quiet. It doesn't tell you. Somebody shifts from some place, some estate somewhere. Anaenda another one, another estate somewhere. A better one. This is through Shekinah. This is through Shekinah. So we have turned tenants into landlords. We have turned people from nothing to something. We got a testimony sometimes back from a young man. He came and spoke to us in one of the AGM. He said, me, I've been struggling. I've been doing this. He came and he gave him boda loan. We have a boda loan. We gave him a boda. He was renting a boda. He bought his own. paid a check off. He was bringing 300 shillings per day. Anatuma kwa simu kila siku. Akamaliza hiyo akachukua ingine. Akapatia mtu mwingine aendeshe hiyo bodaboda awe akimletea pesa. So unaona? So he becomes an employer. So these are some of the very good things that this circle has brought to people with the time, and I know we are going very far. Regarding our share capital, members have been very honest with us. They've been giving us money, and by 2022, at the close of the year, we had 54. It's not very visible there. 54 million worth of savings from the members. So we are doing well, and I know we'll do better than we have done. We were affected a lot by COVID, but people stood with us. They were able to move on with us up to now, and things, though they look deep kidogo, things will be better as we move on. Interest on deposits and dividends. The data we have is that for the first very few years, when we started, we were giving out small loans when we started off, small. So people were paying little dividends, slowly as we grew. Now we have grown, and as at the close of 2022, the money that has gone back to the members in the form of dividends and interest is close to 32 million. 32 million back to the members. And remember, the interest we are charging is not the market rate. We are charging 1%. Even after getting the 1%, we're able to come back to you and tell you the money you gave us, you've been able to trade with it, and can you get this one back? What about if we're giving at a rate of like 15%? We would give back so much, isn't it? But now you can see how we are moving. Performance analysis, that one passed because I've already explained. Cooperative governance, how is the circle run? You may want to know, why is the chairman still sitting? Why is the chairman still here? And he's talking of 15 years. The circles are regulated, not by SASLA, because we have not reached the bracket of going to the SASLA regulation. We are regulated by the ministry, the current ministry of the trade ministry. It has several wordings there, I don't remember what it's called. And the Commissioner for Cooperatives sends people to us to check what we are doing. When we have meetings, they come sit with us, they hold our hand, we walk together with them. These are the people that look at what we are doing. And we have 9 members in the board, as I had stated earlier, who retire, at least a third retire every year. Every year, 3 must retire. And they are eligible for re-election. So, I've been retiring also. I'm retiring next year. I'll retire. But most of the times, members wengine wanasema, we rudi. I got the back seat. They push me in front again. So what do I do? So, if somebody is willing to come here next year and you are a member, there's an exercise we call a vetting exercise. We vet you. We don't take every person who is interested. You have to meet what they call regulations in in the chapter 6 or something. Unajua hiyo, ile chapter 6, kila mtu anaijua. Apart from that, we have put our other internal regulation rules that you must have a minimum of a diploma, and then those others, and you must also have 200,000 in Shekaina. We don't want somebody to come with 5,000 and be the chairman. How? Tunataka mtu akona pesa ya maana. Hata akisema pesa akiona itapotea, hata wewe mwenyewe ndiye atalia kwanza. Aseme hapa hapana. So, if you're interested, you raise your hand, you are interested, There are 3 vacancies in the board and 1 in supervisory committee. Because apart from the 9 board members, we have 3 who sit in the supervisory committee. This is a committee that looks like it's actually a watchdog. They're the people who come, check what we are doing, and report to you during the AGM. For these 15 years we've been there, we have held 14 AGMs. We don't hide anything. We always come back to you, tell you this is how we performed. And we ask you, how do you want us to move on? Then you guide us as members. And that is why I was saying, it's good for you to join this circle. Why? You have a say. This is a circle where you have a say. You can become a chair. You can become the treasurer. You can become anybody you want. But when you go buy shares, like for instance in a bank, like commercial bank, cooperative bank, which are all these other institutions, you are not even known. Utangojea tu, wenyewe waende waketi pahali, wakutumie dividend yako. Lakini hapa unaweza kuja, uketi pande hii, tuko hapa, utuambie chairman, tunataka hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. And you go by what you tell us. But other places, you are not heard. Computerization. Okay, audit of books. Our books are audited every year, and you cannot have an AGM without audit being done. So basically, it's done every year, and they report to the shareholders, who are you, on our performances. Wow. Why should you join our circle? Why am I speaking to you? 1, as you accumulate your savings, you're also borrowing. This is a place whereby you save, you borrow. At the end of some period, you'll have enjoyed loans, and also you'll be having your own money in circle. Like you opened, for instance, an account in a bank, commercial bank. You'll be tempted to withdraw that money. Every time you need money, you just withdraw. Every time you need money, you withdraw. You withdraw. But this is a situation whereby you are saving, and at the same time, you are borrowing. We have another advantage of being a member, that is to do with the quick loan. Approvals have just said that. We don't have a queue to wait. Interest rates are very low, I've told you that. We also have that Shika Pesa, which is very convenient to most of us. There's a member beneficiary in case you pass on, your spouse, your children, 50,000. You can view your account online 24/7. Anytime, like even now, if you want to see your account, go back to that desk. You'll be able to be shown how you can look at your account. We also give 2.5 of your savings in form of loans. Dividends are always there every year. We have a dedicated staff. I've never had a complaint from any member that our staff are not in the office when required to be there. I've not had any incidences of members of staff being rude to any. So I would say that we have good staff. And innovation in terms of products and service technology, those ones are there. And you also as a member, I've just said that you have an advantage of being a decision maker in your circle. Because it's open. When you have the AGM, join, come in, tell us what you want us to do. Guide us. You can say, don't do this, and we'll hear you. So you have an advantage of running circle as your own entity, because you can be able to come to the AGM. That is the end. I was so brief because of time. I was given 20 minutes. So I'll give you maybe, I don't know how many minutes. In case you have a question, we can respond to that. How many want to join my circle? This is my circle. How many want to join? I can see a hand back there. I can see another one. I can see two hands there. I can see this one. Raise up your hand, John. Yes. Quite a number. So, we have forms. If you don't have money, I've talked about here, please sign your form of registration. You'll be given the pay bill. There's a pay bill that we have. That is one way of doing payment to the circle. We also have the bank account, the way you want. Then we'll be able to call you later. You also pick up the office number so that when you are ready to pay, then you'll be able to pay and enjoy. Move with us. Move with us. Those who are in other circles, please listen to me. Those who are employed and they are members of circles, and I know we have so many circles in Kenya. If you tell me where you work, I can tell you you belong to this circle because that one I know. So if you belong to those circles, remember, this is your circle after retirement. I was also working somewhere. I had a lot of money in that circle, but I converted my savings to Shekinah. Why? In Shekinah, there's no retirement age. I used to have so many friends where I was working, but when I retired, they left me alone. But now I have friends here. Sini marafiki yangu. So this is what we are saying. Wachana na ile. Hiyo weka tu. Wacha mwaka ifike ile inasemekana 60. 60 years ikifika, hakuna mtu akona haja nawe. Anajua nguvu yako imeisha. Sasa wewe enda tu sukuma maisha huko. Utakuja pande yetu. You come to our side. And when you come to our side, you follow where? To Shekinah. That is where we are. So please, weka kidogo in Shekinah as you also continue with the employer-based circle. Usitupe ile, kaa tu hapo. Wacha miaka ikaribie ifike, ikishafika ujue tuna kukaribisha na mikono yote pande hii. Ni sawa? So weka kidogo tafadhalini, mweka kidogo, then come on our side. Usiseme eti mimi niko kwa sako yangu ya serikali. Hata hiyo wengine wanalia saa hii. Nasikia wengine remittances hazijatumwa kwa sako yako. Na hiyo tumesikia, tumeona kwa gazeti. Si ni kweli? Yangu haina remittances. Mama mboga wako hapa, mtu ya bodaboda iko hapa, mtu ya car wash iko hapa, hata watu wengine wakubwa wako hapa. Let me tell you finally. Kuna watu hapa wamekopa 4 million siku moja. Anakuja asubuhi, anaenda na pesa yake jioni. Hata 500,000 nimesahau. Hata the highest you have ever given ni kama 500,000 mtu moja. Wengine wanareji 1 million, have a million there. Unaona? Ukiwa kijana unataka bodaboda, kuja kwetu. Kwa kununulia hiyo bodaboda, uanze biashara, lakini uwe na discipline kwa barabara. Sababu wengi hawana hiyo discipline. So asanteni sana. MC, or I continue. So, those who are about to retire, those who are also active in employment, I'm still there. Karibuni kwa klabu yetu ya Shekinah. Kujeni huku. Asanteni sana. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, Chairman. That was quite elaborate. Nimeona hata kuja kuwa na maswali. It means it was elaborate, right? Sasa hii ni sako yetu ya retirement. Sasa don't think you're too young for that. Thank you, Chairman Maura, for your time. Now, our final facilitator. It's been a busy day, but our final facilitator. I just want to not take much of your time. So, Leonard Asher, Ojiambo Asher, is a seasoned leadership, strategy, and governance and management expert, compelling empowerment speaker, trainer, author, executive coach, and God-fearing family man. He holds an MBA strategy from the University of Northampton, a BSc in psychology from the University of Derby, a diploma in psychological studies from the University of Derby, Bachelor of Business. Bachelor of Business from the University of Queensland, a diploma in marketing from Russo Institute of Technology. Holds several diplomas in insurance from the Life Office Management Institute in the USA. He has worked in Australia, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, and the USA. Leonard travels widely and serves on the boards our board of Palm House Dairies in Kenya and Friends Consult in Uganda. He is a Rotarian and former president of the Rotary Club, Nairobi North. He consults extensively in private and public sectors and outside the continent. He's the CEO and founder of Empowerment Resource Technologies Limited. Emichi is an associate consultant for Kenya Institute of Management, and Kenya Federation of Employers. So help me welcome the CEO of Empowerment Resource Technologies, Mr. Leonard Ojiambo Asha.
Bwana asifiwe. I know we are not good on time. I'm going to run very quickly because I also need to go somewhere. Tumebarikiwa leo, si ndio? Allow me to really appreciate my former colleague, Bwana Musau, for such an extensive job he's done today. Powerfully delivered. Thank you for Bwana Wafuba. Pia ameenda, done a very good job. Asante chairman for promoting the circle. Na tumeingia box, si ndio? Simame kidogo. Let's stand up kidogo. Stretch. Now, let's jump on the spot so that the food can go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10. Thank you very much. Well, Pastor Jonathan, thank you very, very much. I'm very appreciative. And I'm going to pick from the word that the pastor has organized. Thank you for your vision, because it is sessions like this one that make a whole difference. There's something Pastor Jonathan mentioned. It touches my heart closely. This is what he said. We have served God with the commitment and dedication. We begin very well, then we finish very poorly. It's not unusual to find men and women who are born again in the last days of their life very desperate, very despondent, very broke, and very lonely. The question is, Mungu alikuwa wapi? And this is a scenario we can't afford to ignore. It is happening. It has happened. You start very well on a high note. You drive a very good car. You have a decent house. You eat well. Then all of a sudden, maybe the job disappears. You get retrenched or you get retired. And then, bang, you look to whom it may concern. It is a very painful situation to be in and also very avoidable. That's why we have this kind of engagement to reflect and think through. I'm not standing here as an expert because there are no experts in life. We are all students. We are learning, okay? And I know we have a diverse audience. We have students who are learning. We have people who are not yet employed. We have businessmen, and we have people who are also working. But when it comes to finances, it's such a very interesting scenario that all of us, we need help, we need to learn, and to keep our mind open, very, very open indeed. And before I start, there are some statements I would request you to consider. If you can write down, you can. If you don't want to write down, it's okay. All right? Number one, the rich remain rich because they pretend to be poor. The rich remain rich because they pretend to be poor. And the poor remain poor because they pretend to be rich. Go and figure that one out. The rich remain rich because they pretend to be poor. And the poor remain very poor because we pretend to be rich. Two statements. Now, the third one. This is a quotation by a gentleman called Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu was a military strategist from China many years back. He says, in times of abundance, prepare for scarcity. I repeat, in times of abundance, prepare for scarcity. In terms of war, in terms of peace, prepare for war. Are you together? You don't buy guns when you are fighting. You buy guns before the fight starts. Are you together? You don't plan for retirement when you're retiring. You plan for retirement before you start. Now, those statements for me captures the whole essence of financial management. All right? If you look at most of us, we are so poor, we plan to be what? To be rich. Our lifestyle does not reflect the standard of our income. And after some time, we get in trouble. Now, how do you know you are financially stable? It is when you lose a job. Because a job can go, and jobs have gone. Are you together? When your business collapses, those things happen. Not because you're a sinner. It's because of the economic dynamics and their global challenges. That is why when you have your little money, you know how to manage it to your advantage. Okay, the truth here is, I believe in being practical. I hear so many powerful things on top there. People talk grandiose stories. I don't belong there. I belong to the ground. Very grounded on the ground. Practical. And I want to share with you things I've learned over time. The good news here, when I began my consultancy, this gentleman here was my first landlord. At Utumishi. Akaniuliza, afford rent kweli? Will you afford rent? He was being very genuine because he didn't want trouble of signing a lease. But by the grace of God, 20 years down the road, standing steady, I've never had a pestry for many years. But I've been doing most of my work out of the country because prophets don't prophesy at home, and I know it. So you go where? That's where you prophesy. All right? So that's why you don't see me most of the time. But God has been very faithful. The things I'm going to share with you are things I've learned from experts, proven and tested, grounded men and women who understand the component of money. And I can tell you cannot afford to make money spiritual. You are going to hurt with your prayers and fasting. And God will say prayer declined. Because there are principles and the fundamentals you've got to obey and work with for you to ensure that you get somewhere. There's a gentleman called Stanko. He was a missionary in Africa. He wrote a book. And he said that the most religious people he has ever seen are Africans. They know how to fast. They know how to pray. They are dedicated. They are genuine. But they are also the poorest. So is God unfair? How could people who worship God the most are the one the most disadvantaged? Sinners are having a good time. They drink every day. They smoke. They drive big cars. They have good homes. They sin on a daily basis. They don't even repent. And they are wealthy. Because when money has nothing to do with repentance, these are strategies you have to understand. Whether you are serving God or not, money will come your way if you do what is right. Are you together? I've never seen money in heaven. And nobody has come out to tell us. Pesa iko hapa chini. You need to watch hapa. Have you gone for funerals? Does anybody take money with him? Ni zetu hapa chini. So, let's be very practical. And Brother Pastor Jonathan, thank you for making it painful to us, for reminding us. We can't sit here and pretend that the wealth of the world is ours. We are children of God. We shall not work. We shall not lack. And we are lacking. The more you confess I shall not lack, the more you are hungry. You get my point? We begin chasing non-existent demons because money is such a big factor. And I want to tell you something I've learned over time. Research has it. There are three major causes of stress that create a lot of stress in our lives. Number one, loss of our loved ones. Anybody who has lost our loved ones, the stress they go through is unimaginable. Number two, toxic and corrosive relationships. If you're in a bad relationship, you'll be stressed. Third, sickness. Fourth, money. That order. Fourth is what? Money. Now, death you can have no control. With the time you recover, you go for therapy and life goes on. True or not true? Sickness, somebody can die or he doesn't die, you recover, you go on. Relationship, you run away, you go to Busia if you want. But now with money, where do you go? If you have financial problems, where do you hide? Can you show me where you can go and hide? Where you can say, I want to escape from money problems. Where do you go? Okay? All right. The thing I've learned about, and if there's somebody who is qualified to talk about money, let me speak about money. Because I know, most of you know, this is my church. I've been here for 30 years. I came here as a schoolboy carrying a school bag. So I can tell you a little bit about money because I've seen it all from all angles. All right? Now, the reason why I talk about money, when I had a chance to go to Australia to do my undergraduate degree, for some reason I got some good money. I got a job, and when you give a full money, something happens. The first thing we did, we went to the showroom and bought big cars. I bought the car. Remember the car I came with? A very huge car. 4,000 cc, una nyumba, una mahali pa kulala, una pesa ya mafuta, but you have a 4-liter engine. Okay? When I was in college, they used to ask me, Kijana, do you do drugs? I told them, no. Mandela is my uncle. Because those fellas think anybody from Africa was from South Africa. You know, it's not about money. I can tell you, if you are financially illiterate, money won't sort you out. That is why you must install money programs in our world. That's why I carry my backup with me here. And I like what Brother Jeff was teaching us in the morning. Money is a program. Money is a what? It's a program. You either have it or you don't have it. And once you don't have it, it will reflect. This is our biggest asset. Ujinga wote uko hapa. All the challenges we face is here. Unless this thing gets sorted out, we are going to have a crisis. Now I want to give you a very good example. How many of you have ever opened a computer looking for a document and the computer says, document not found, file not found? Remember that message? Inamaanisha ya kwamba you cannot work on what you haven't saved. You get the point? You cannot access a document you have not done what? Saved. Now, this is your hard disk. Are you together? You have to install files in this place. So some of us have no financial files. So ukipata pesa, where can I invest? The brain thinks. Say, file for investment not found. How can I save? Umepata pesa. On a scan the disk. File for saving not found. You know what? Pesa emeenda wapi? Because the files were not in the first place installed. So they can't be there in the first place. Remember, when I did psychology, we are taught everybody is intelligent. Did you know that? You don't go to school because you are intelligent. You don't go to school to get intelligence. You go to school because you are intelligent, and you go to school to get information to drive your intelligence. So if you don't go to school and you are intelligent, you are an intelligent fool. Are you together? So when you go to college or to school, they are installing files. Are you together? So that now you can process what? Information. The truth be told, how many of us in this room here have ever had a financial conversation with your parents to teach you about money? If you are there, you are lucky. Most of us are clueless. Mom was clueless, dad was clueless, I'm clueless. So when we get money, what do we think about? Pay bills, eat well, sleep well, eat chicken, and life goes on. For years, until the job disappears. Are you together? I wrote an article some time back. I don't know if I can get it here, and I want to read you very quickly because I have time is running very quickly, to let us really consider some of the things we are doing. Because no amount of fasting and prayer is going to sort us out if we don't go back and reflect on our financial strategies. This is what I did here. I was just trying to go through the whole process. By the way, I've been teaching this for many years. And the reason why I believe in it, because company pay me for it. So that makes me believe in it. I talk about financial terms in terms of school, baby class, pre-unit, primary, high school, and university. Some of us here, we are in baby class. And I'll tell you about financial baby class. They are financially clueless. They wear financial pampers. They frequently mess, and their gallant relatives and friends and partners have to clear the mess. They believe their parents and pastors and friends, all of them are leaving. They crave for financial hugs, and they miss mommy. They play, sing, dance, and enjoy eat lollipops most of the time. They retire home untidy, tired. However, they believe they know what they are doing. Baby class, primary school, financial level, primary school. They are restless and mischievous with money. They believe financial school is a bad idea and teachers are a waste of time. They live in their own financial world, where anything goes. Number 3, financial high school. Now I'm in the high school, no teenagers. They spend before they earn. Consumption is the reason for earning. They have no savings, no investment. They default on credit and obligations with reckless abandon. Always daydreaming about financial breakthrough and miracle, especially from betting. Number 4, undergraduate financial level. They believe they are the first people ever to earn money. They usually are high earners. They wonder why people earn petty cash. They steal abilities. Anachukuanga mkopo ku finance la what? Thing that won't give you money. All right? They think more income will solve their financial problems, hemorrhage, and have a knack for attracting high-paying jobs. Now, number 4, master's level. They have fully grasped fundamentals of financial literacy. They save aggressively and invest in diverse markets, money market, and real estate. They understand risk management. They have various insurance policies. They have a personal accident cover. They live below their means. They know the difference between assets and liabilities, and most of them have a house of their own, which is fully paid. They use loans prudently. They invest. The ability to pay their loan, time is what they take. They never take consumer loans. They also have passive income that comes in terms of need. Now, there are those with a financial PhD like in Njuguna. Financial PhD. That's in Njuguna now. They have graduated from operating income to divert. Now they have what we call passive income. In other words, even if you are sleeping, you are earning money. You go on holiday, there's money coming in. You go to the village, there's money coming in. Some of us, you go to holiday, money also goes to holiday. When you sleep, money sleeps. When you wake up, money has woken up. Okay. They are financially savvy and they meet lifestyle from passive income. Are you together? Kuna watu wakiona na gari kubwa hapa, si ati hiyo ni pesa ya kutafuta. Hiyo pesa hiyo mali, hiyo gari inalipwa na watu wengine. Yeye ajali, hata akilala inalipwa na watu wengine. You are driving a big car from past operating income. The day you are fired, the car gets auctioned and you say they are demons. They are not demons. Nobody's attacking you, just lack of understanding. They don't engage in wastage. They have built financial chest for the next generation. Most of them are conservative, live normal lives. They are very good givers, okay, and ABCD. So which level are you? Baby class, primary school, high school, university, undergraduate, master's, I'm a PhD. I don't know. Figure it out. All right. What can you? Why do I talk about money? When I was in Australia, I was financially illiterate, completely an imbecile and a fool. So I got some money. I was single, I had a little money, I bought big cars, I did the shopping I could do, big house, big consumption. Tumujinga tuna pesa. When I came back, and I'll tell you a story, the only thing I could put in the container was my car and my personal goods and books, palapa. Nikifika Mombasa, sina pesa ya clearance, Njuguna there, I had to sell things in advance. In the car, there's a golf course, there's a golf cart. In the car, there's a music system, there's a what. So I was selling my things, there's a saxophone. I was selling things in advance to go and do what? Clear the what? The things. By the time the container arrived, kila kitu imeshanunuliwa tayari. Now, number 2, I'm homeless. I have nowhere to stay. Homeless kabisa. Now, ukiangalia hiyo gari, unasema wacha tu. An idiot, an imbecile, and a moron. Financially illiterate. So don't be moved by image. Because I struggled so much, it's only God that I recovered. I don't know how I recovered, only God knows. Are you together? By God's grace. That was a very painful lesson for me. In fact, the story even messier. One time I came to church, and from the time the pastor preached and he finished, I had nothing. Because I didn't know where to sleep and where to stay. Brother Jonathan here is the one who bailed me out. He said, Leonard, don't worry. I have a servant's quarter in Ngumba. Come and stay with me. This man here. So you go and push a big car in somebody's. See, you know the machine? It was a 4,000 cc 7-seater, blue in color. Ada mafuta una. You know how I survived. Do you know it was so painful? That's why I went on rampage on financial management. How I recovered, only God knows. That's why you see, I've done the mistakes. So, but don't do my mistakes. You may never recover. Me, I recovered. You may never recover. Don't try that stuff. So very quickly, because of time, let's move on. In a song. Okay? Let's move on very quickly because of time. Okay. It's not showing there. Here it's moving. How about there? Okay. I'm sorry you can't see. It's not moving. I don't know what's the problem. But how many of you have seen lightning? Lightning. A very big bolt of lightning, okay? Now, one bolt of lightning, one bolt in the sky, produces 300 million volts of power, of electricity. That's 300 what? Million volts of energy. Ita is on 120, which is more useful. Lightning am ita. That, do you know there's nowhere in the world where lightning has value? It's useless. Nguvu mingi bure kabisa. It can't be used for anything. It can't power anything. It's of no value. You know why? Nani talked about it here. It has no structure. It has no what? Too much power, no structure, no system. So what's the value? Zero. Hii ni 120 peke yake, basi linatusaidia hapa. Napatia mwangaza, tunaweza soma. Ni kidogo tu, lakini kwa vile iko na structure, inasaidia nini? Value. Now, the people who are born again are like lightning. They talk big. Para. Liba saraba kusikia kiye, likanara basaka ya kiye, la basiri bikuri basandaraba, la kasikie rakaye. Yeah, the tongues are so heavy. They pray, they jump, they fall down. Hakuna structure, bure kabisa. Bure what? Before you finish, you are begging for bus fare, una rent, nikubaya. Sasa, the problem is you have not been able to structure your disposition to help you create value. So you're like what? I've known people who are so confident. People who are born again, they are so confident. They know how to talk. They are confident. They believe in God. They own God. They have shares in heaven. Lakini hapa chini shida. We need to go to be sober and realize we need to get into structure. And I'm glad. This guy, by the way, was talking, Mafuba. He's one of the top fund managers in this country. So he has his theory. That guy is running a portfolio of over, I think, so many billions. I do some work for them. So nothing here I was saying is not true. It's true. Simple as it looks, that's a powerhouse. Get the point? So the thing here is, I talked about structure. Now, our problem, all of us, and I want to tell you something, my brothers. If we are not very careful, tutajiuliza Mungu ako wapi? Because the years ahead are more tougher than the years where behind. And I can tell you, kama umezoea kujilisha, unajitegemea mwenyewe. There's nothing as frustrating to be reduced to a beggar. Not because you never had money, but you had money, lakini haikutumia vizuri. Are you together? You didn't use it very well. And the times ahead is very demanding. Some problems don't go away. You have to eat, you have to clothe, you have to have some medical. Now, if you don't have money, it can become a very big problem. Mpaka mchungaji akikuona nafikiri unataka kumuomba fare. Alafu naambia watoto, you know I'm your father. Of course I know. So you think they should stop their life and do what? And feed you. So those are some things I want you to take care of. So very quickly, I want us to look here. I've talked about that one there. You know, that one was going to, I wanted to show you a nice clip, but I'm told this thing can't take internet. So, watch a kai to siku ingine. Now, the key thing here, I told you about the mind. Money is a financial program. You have to go and install a financial program in your mind. If you don't do that, even if you get money, money will disappear. Are you together? Money will do what? Will disappear. We know how to earn money. What we don't know is how to use that money so that it can help us today, tomorrow, and the future. And I can tell you, regardless of your salary, whether you are a senior manager or junior manager or even a clerk, if you know how to manage what God has put in your hands, I can guarantee you, you'll be still comfortable if you stay in your lane until the end of your life. It is absolutely possible. But you need to wake up as soon as possible and begin putting in place mechanisms and structures that can help you as you move ahead. Because if you don't do that, money can cause a lot of problems. Some of us are now dishonest. Because you are broke. You tell somebody, I'll pay you tomorrow, my brother. Tomorrow I'll pay you. And because you see me testifying in church, you just give me. But I won't pay you back because I don't have the money. Are you together? Okay. Now, I want you to do a statement for me. If you have a job or a business and you are still broke, what do you think will happen if you have no job and business? Ask yourself. Today you have a job or you have a business and you are still broke. Now, what will happen if you don't have the same job or business? You usinijibu, enda ufikirie tu. Are you together? Go and think about it. If now I have a job and I'm broke, what will happen if I have no job? If I have a business and I'm broke, what will happen if I'm not also have what? A business? That is a question we have to question and interrogate. Because the answer will help us kujipanga. Okay? All right. I won't go there because of time. Let me just go through some things here. Why do we plan? Yeah, what I tell people, there are no shortcuts to financial success. Hakuna shortcuts. Hii si maombi, hii ni strategy. Number 2, we plan because we don't know the future. Nobody knows the future. And the only way you can, because we don't know the future, it is upon us to do some form of planning, because the future can be something we have never imagined. Unpredictable, unprecedented, unimaginable until your intelligence is put to test. That's why we try our best to do some little planning. Who knows? By God's grace, we may survive. Okay? Secondly, planning also demonstrates that you have faith in God. If you see a man planning, that's the epitome of your faith in who? In God. Because tomorrow will come anyway. So nasema wacha ikuje lakini nafanya nini? Nimejipanga kiasi. Okay? Finally, today is a proof that tomorrow is coming. Right together? Ukiona leo imefika leo, na maanisha ya kwamba kesho nafanya nini? Inakuja. And something has to be done immediately. So very quickly, now what is a crisis? And they happen. A crisis is a future which arrives finding us unprepared. Any future which arrives before you are prepared is called a what? A crisis. Because you didn't see it coming. Okay. Some crises are unavoidable, but some are avoidable. Some are what? Avoidable. If we do our homework diligently, carefully, we could be able to save something. Now, I want to share with you something very interesting. I want to focus on the behavior of money. Behavior of what? Money. My first class in financial literacy, I was taught by a very famous guru. The whole session was about what? Emotions. Nothing about money. He talks about emotions so deeply, tukashanga pesa iko wapi? Akasema acha hii maneno. Until you handle and harness your emotions, sawa mambo ya pesa. Because emotions are behind spending, consumption, image, are you together? All those things are driven by emotions. So the first step we have planned is to harness and regulate and manage and control how we feel. How we do what? We feel. Sometimes emotions say, let's buy hii kitu bwana, nunua hii kitu bwana. Lakini hakuna pesa. You borrow and we buy. Logic is saying we have no money. Emotions saying, but my friend, you will only live once, YOLO. You only live what? Once. Jipatia mwili pole bwana, we ni aje. Yeah? And emotions are 24 times stronger than what? Than logic. What did I say? Emotions are 24 times stronger than what? That's why you can find a very intelligent person making a bad decision emotionally. Are you together? Emotions, and my prayer today, please, stop respecting emotions. And never make decisions which are very strategic based on how you feel. Feelings are very cheap, and they are very deceptive, and they are very misleading. Are you together? We borrow because of emotions. We take a bigger loan because of emotions. We spend because of, sometimes the cars we drive. Naulizanga watu, what's the use of a car? It's to move from A to B. That's it. Are you together? If you can afford a good car, well and good, go for it. But the key function is the same. Whether it's a Mercedes or Prado, Range Rover, kazi yake ni from A to B. That's what matters most. But most of us, if you can afford a big car, go for it. God has blessed you. Kama uwezi, play in your level. One thing I like about Nairobi. Anapenda hii mji yetu sana. Kuna lunch ya 5,000. Kuna lunch ya 3,000. Kuna lunch ya 2,000. Kuna lunch ya 1,000. Kuna lunch ya 500. kuna lunch ya 300, kuna lunch ya 150, kuna lunch ya 100, kuna lunch ya finje, kuna lunch ya 30. Go where you belong. Lunch is lunch. I'm telling you, go where you belong. Lunch is what? There's a place we eat with the Jugune a lot. Ukienda hapo, economy budget. Unatandika tu githeri vizuri na nduma hapo, bili kikuja 120. Mwezi jua. Ama ni aje? Si ndio? It's about what? By the way, there are no inferior and superior emotions. Are you together? So you can't say, the way a man in the slums, the warmth he has for his children is the same warmth Ruto has for his children up there. So you can't say, these are presidential feelings. No. Feelings are feelings. Whether they are presidential, or they are MCA, or they are for a hasora. Are you together? Hapo ndio Mungu alituweka 1-0. Si ndio? So, the key thing is, this one thing called emotions is behind a lot of financial chaos and anarchy among people who are very sophisticated, educated, and brilliant. Okay? Now, there are 5 levels we are told by the experts. Number 1 is called self-awareness. Number 1, I said what? Hiyo ni kujijua mwenyewe. We are all different. You need to get to know who you are as a person. You need to understand your feelings, understand them, how they drive you, and how they make you. And remember, we keep changing. So that means you need to know who you are at where you are now. Because what you were yesterday is not what you are today. Amanyaje. Some of us think we are still that nice girl of 20 years ago. You are now sugu. You are now heartless. Now ujui. Umekuwa mkora kabisa. You think you are the same nice girl of yesterday. When you are tari kabisa sasa. You've gone through a lot. So you need to be sure you update your status. You do what? You update your situation now. Because some of us still think you are that nice boy in the village who was very kind and harmless and sober. And today you are crook. You are heartless. You don't even care anymore. But you need to know you are heartless so that you understand it properly. So number 1 is you need to understand your emotions. Am I rapid? Am I inconsistent? Am I indisciplined? Am I haphazard? Am I spontaneous? Am I inconsistent? I'll tell you something. The reason why, I hope time will allow me to get there. Okay? Sometimes the reason why a circle is a very good place. Ukiweka pesa hapo, kuitoa ni matanga. Unanielewa? So, hata ukitaka, unaambiwa si saizi. Then you say, sawa acha ikae. But now, kama iko kwa bank, utaenda uchukue mara moja sababu ni yako. Si ndio? So, knowing how you are should inform the choices of your vehicles where you put your money. So that in case you are feeling emotional, you have nothing to do with it. Pesa imeshapeleka mahali, itatoka saa hiyo. Alafu unajisort. Are you together? Emotions are so lethal that if we don't manage those emotions, we'll get in a lot of trouble. Okay? So self-awareness. Get to know who you are. We are different. And I'm not saying uko na shida. You are okay. Just know who you are. Kama uko na kipawa ya anger, you are fine. That's okay. It's yours. You deal with it. There's no problem with it. You have a talent for anger. That's your talent. Use it. Okay? So, don't think there's anything wrong with you. Uko sawa, but get to know who you are. Mimi najijua niko hivi, si ndio? Number 2, self-control or self-regulation. Because now you know who you are, you now deliberately want to control who you are. Let me make a mention here. We are told, this is the brain, This part here is called the neocortex. It is the most advanced part of the brain where you have your cognitive facilities. Emotions are very primitive. They are resident in what we call the limbic system, where you have the amygdala, hypothalamus, and hippocampus near the brain stem. Jamaa afikiriangi, he doesn't reason. He's very dumb. Him just feels. So, in emotional intelligence, you are trying to put logic in your word. To think how you feel. You are trying to reason with your feelings. Because hizo ukiwacha peke yake utakupeleka mahali pabaya. Ama niaje? That's why people do what they can't do. You find somebody who is very intelligent and very sober. Unamuuliza na huko ulienda kufanya nini? Hata mimi sijui. Ni shetani tu. Kumbe ni emotions. You get my point? Okay? Okay. Now, before I get there, let me get you back to the normal curve. Some of you have done statistics. What we call the normal curve. It has 3 parameters. Outliers on the left, outliers on the right, and the big bulk in the middle. Now, outliers, these are people, even if they do what is wrong, they still succeed. Have you noticed? They are a group of people, hata akitukana na bibi yake, bado kuna ndoa. Hata akikunya pesa yote, anapatanga pesa. Those are called outliers. Wacha hao watu, wako na neema nyingine ambao hatuna. You get my point? There are people who break all the rules and they still succeed anyway. They don't save, they don't invest, and they still have money. How? I don't know. They are called outliers. They abuse their partners and they still have a marriage anyway. Anachapa mama, anachapa mzee na bado ameolewa tu. Wewe ukijaribu, you are out. Wako na neema nyingine haieleweki. That's why they are called what? Outliers. Then on this side, kuna wengine ambao wako clueless. Even here we are sitting here, they are wondering, what are we doing here in the first place? And it's okay. Hiyo si makosa yako. Clueless completely. Okay? So, then we have this middle called the normal people. Where are the teachers here? Teachers in the room? Do you know there are children who never read and they pass exams? How? I don't know. Hawasomangi, lakini wanafanya nini? Wao kijaribu wanafanya nini? Wanaanguka. Outliers. Okay? Now, if you're an outlier, una haja kuwa hapa. Go and relax. Go and have fun. Uko sawa. But if you're among these average people in the middle, we have to work hard, sacrifice, plan, dedicate, and do what is right. Otherwise, we are out. Are you together? So these are people who are normal. Wacha na wale wengine on this side. So, I said self-awareness. Number 2, you need to know how to control those emotions. Ambie yes, but no. Now, no. Gari imechapwa kila mahali, imegongwa, imebondeka. Nasema tu, as long as you start, we will be together to this trip. Usijali, wewe ngojea tu. Unaingia kwa parking, kila mtu anakudharau. Wewe mzee, nataka nini hapa? Si mimi mgeni hapa. Wewe umekuja ile. Wewe usijali. Unaambia emotion, hata nikidhauliwa acha nikae tu. Mimi have my priorities. Tuendelea tu pole pole na wewe, usijali. Are you together? Because you are controlling your because do you know image is killing most of us? Image. I know church is very intimidating. There are people who change clothes every day. Jamani kuna suti mpya kila siku, viatu mpya kila siku, gari mpya. Then you wonder who is his God? Mungu wanga kwa wapi? Ukiona huyo mzee bana. You could be an entrepreneur. Stay in your lane. Stay in your what? Where you live is your address, be comfortable with it. Kama ni chini huko wewe usijali. As long as you are in your what? In your lane. Don't worry. Because after some point, things will improve along the way. So, self-control, how you feel. I can tell you, image has messed up many people. Many people. Si hata hatuna pesa, ni image too. You are competing. You are doing what? Ati mtoto lazima kuwe shule fulani. My friend, some of us went under mango tree. Primary school under mango tree. Na tuko hapa, uja daddy. Si ndio? You just do things you can afford. Now, number 3, self-motivation. Self what? Kujipatia moyo. David said, I'll encourage myself in the what? In the Lord. You need to find a way to, otherwise you'll encourage you, you'll be depressed. Life is very challenging. You have to find a space where unajipatia moyo peke yako. Nasema ni kubaya lakini najua Mungu atanisaidia hapa. Unajipatia kamotisha. Kabashara kemeumana ni kubaya lakini unasema usijali. Utapambana pole pole. Mimi na yeye pole pole. Unapambana. But because if you give up again, you are going to slide into a crisis. Si ati mambo ni mazuri vile, unajipatia moyo. Mwenyewe tu uko ndani. Unajipatia, don't worry, we'll make it. God is on our side. He will help us. People think we are normal, but we are abnormal. But don't worry. You know, Mungu ni wajabu. Did you know why he hide most of the things we have in our hearts? Did you? Okay? Now, number 4 is called empathy. It's called what? Empathy. Number 4, you put yourself in the shoes of other people. Are you together? Now, how does that apply to money? You know, what can you do? We have a different philosophy. Money, for me, if you ask me, money hates noise. That's my philosophy. Money hates what? I'm not saying I'm right. That's for me. Because I'll tell you something. There's something Simon said in the morning. Wacha niwaambie ndugu zanguni. Associations is not something we should take lightly. Do you know, for a long time I thought I was normal. Omekula, omelala, and you think you're okay. Because you are hanging around some people who think like you and you think you're okay. The day God reveals to you that you are a big fish in a small pond, you go on your knees and say, Lord, help me out. Now, and I must tell you, I changed my relationship long time ago. The guys, all my friends, when they look at me, they want to help me because they look at me in a room. How can we help you, Leonard? Because you need some help. They don't. That's when I began to grow. But now when you go somewhere, you are the boss. When you're on a pesa, go where people look at you with sympathy. They look at you and they wonder, you need help. How can we help you, bro? No, you need to come up also. Friends can help you a lot because human beings are instruments in the hands of God. Are you together? If God wants to help you, He will give you good people. Are you together? So the key thing here I learned about that situation is sometimes we put ourselves in very compromising positions emotionally until they have a very big impact on our negative impact on our emotions. So be very careful about that. Okay? The last one is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal what? Skills. Remember what the gentleman told us, Money comes because there's an exchange of a service and money. I have a need, you have the service. Then we exchange. How you relate with people. I've seen people who are so average intellectually. Wengine walipata F for fantastic in school. Wengine walipata D for distinction. But they're very successful. Because they know how to do what? To relate. We found a guy, he got A for what? Fantastic. E for excellent. Lakini huko kwa mtani huko, huwezi ukamuona. He knows how to do what? To relate. Because remember, the money you want is in somebody's pocket. Are you together? So you need to find a peaceful way of transferring it from there to your pocket. Sindio? A way which is not hurting anybody. And sometimes kama hujui kuongea, wachana hiyo kitu. Utapata hiyo kitu. Sindio? Somebody challenged me and I've never forgotten it. A friend of mine is very, very rich. He told me, Leonard, you cannot compete with the son of a rich man. I told him, what do you mean? He told me, look, you see that young boy there? Huyu jamaa alipata D-. Mimi nikambeba nikampeleka ngambo. Akafanya degree in whatever. Sasa amemaliza degree, amerudi because amesomea wapi? Majuu. Profile yake iko wapi? He's confident, akona twang, he's informed, he's exposed. He's now a CEO. A poor man's child who got A+. University of Nairobi is still tamaking. Those are facts. You can get upset with it or not, but those are what? Facts. Now, this is what shocked me now. When the boy came back, he told me, how can my son from UK go and live in Umoja and I have a house? I bought him a house in where? In Riara. So the boy is akona nyumba wapi? Riara. And he's a what? He's a CEO. Earning a good what? Can you compete with that guy? So you start guy driving a big car. You say, we're also in the same company. We're in the same age group. That's why niendeshe. My friend, the infrastructure behind that guy, you have no copy. You are claiming this is my colleague. We work together. We're in the same company. We're in the same grade. He's driving a big car, so drive a big car. The guy has something behind him about you don't have. And I've learned that very painfully. People are not what you see. People are loaded. People are deep. So if you think people are on the surface, you'll be heartbroken. People are very deep. I have a friend of ours who recently bought a company for 1.5 billion cash. You can't tell. Simple man. Simple t-shirt. Nasimu easy. He's not even a politician. He's not even an entrepreneur. A simple, smart guy. So he was telling me, never say economy is bad. Say uchumi yako ndio mbaya. Don't speak on our behalf. When you say uchumi ni mbaya, on whose behalf are you speaking? Kwani umeenda huko banka hakuna pesa? Sema account yangu haina pesa. Don't say there's no money in the bank because the bank has what? Money. Say go and think how you can transfer money from somebody's account to your account. Now those are the big boys talking. You know they make you think. Uchumi ni mbaya. Oh, really? Hatumesema nini? Hata sikujua. Then you keep quiet and walk away humbly. Because you are having a different what? The biggest mistake we make as believers is to hide ourselves in church. Go and find out what's happening those sides. Badala kuomba, enda huko nje. Angalie vizuri what are guys doing and how are they doing it. Instead of hiding here, fellowshipping in the morning, on Tuesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, my friend. Sawa tu. Okay. Now, there's something, I don't know how this will come up. This is Deuteronomy 8:18. The guy talks about it. He said, if God does what? He gives us power to get what? He doesn't give wealth. What does he give? It's the power. So Mungu just only gives you the power. So what you do with it is your problem. So he never gives wealth. He gives you what? Power. Now, the one I love most is this one here. This one here has, I feel out. He said, the poor will do what? You always have. The Lord said, the poor you always do what? In other words, kuna squad ingine imekubaliwa spiritually, they'll be poor. He says, the poor you always do what? Have. That thing is very painful. Don't take it lightly. Why does the Bible classify that there are people who must remain poor? Are you among them? Now, here's another story. The same, this is what the guy says. Now, this is Deuteronomy now. The poor will always be, there will always be what? Poor people in the what? In the land. Therefore, I command you to be what? Open-handed towards your what? Your brother. In other words, the heavens accept that there are people who think in a particular manner and there's no way they will escape what? Poverty. So the question is, what makes us poor? Okay? My thinking is, number one, is our mindset. Is that what? And there are three mindsets I've come to observe fairly. The first mindset, people who believe that when you get a job, kazi ya hiyo job ni kulipa bills. Kulipa nyumba, na stima, na chakula, na malazi, alafu nalala. That's a mindset. Very happy people. Wakipata mshahara, lipa stima, lipa nyumba, lipa mfanyakazi, lipa tithe, alafu lala. Are you together? There's a problem there because now that guy is on, they did a job, disappears. You realize, I don't know what is happening. Mindset number one. Mindset number two, these are guys who believe you get money to live a good life. To live a good what? You must live at your level. Don't drive a car. Drive a machine. Don't live in a house. Live in a grandiose abode. Don't just live in some dubious, questionable, suspicious dwelling. You have to live in some, you know what I mean? Don't just dress these funny uniforms in town. Go designer. Be original. Be different. Stop local holidays. Enda maju kwanza and you know, why are you working? So, this guy is a mindset. They are very smart, brilliant, educated, exposed, but they believe money is to make you live a superior life. Are you together? And then they make sure that they have access to credit. So they make sure their credit rating is very what? They say, you know, I can borrow 10 million. Sinchezee mimi. 10 million nikitaka napata saizi. And for sure napata. Because akona credit mzuri, si ndio? Third mindset, they believe you earn money to help you produce more money. Are you seeing the difference? They earn money to use money to make more what? Money. Are you getting the point? Remember what I said in the beginning? The poor stay poor by pretending to be what? Rich. And the rich stay rich by pretending to be what? There's a gentleman, he knows him, very rich man. Huyu mzee anapark gari Parklands, anachukua matatu, anakuja town. Sasa baada kulipa mia ngapi? 200 ya nini? Ya parking. Hataki hiyo maneno. So anapark kwa club pale, anachukua matatu, anakuja town. You look at the guy, you can't tell, but a powerhouse. But a poor boy, mimi, no, I can't be in a matatu. Lazima, I have to be seen. I have to walk when I'm seated. The small money you're having, you're spending. Sindio? So, that mindset is a very big challenge. That we believe we get money to spend. We must learn to get money to grow money. You know why? Because that job will go away. I'm not a prophet of doom. That job can disappear. I've seen big jobs disappear. Now, sasa, if the job disappears and you begin shouting immediately, are you okay? Are you together? I said, in terms of abundance, prepare for scarcity. In terms of peace, prepare for war. What is war? War are those problems which come uninvited, unplanned, and unexpected. That's war. So, ukijipanga, hata ikikuja, ukona namna ya kufanya nini? Ya kutatua. Yet you have the means, you have the capacity, you have the ability. But, hukufikiria hivyo. You just thought life would be like that. I'm going to tell you, life can change. Life can do what? Let me give you a very sad example. When I began consulting, Jeff will tell you, we used to be paid 300,000 shillings per hour. Per what? 300 what? Now today, usijidanganye ati hiyo itakuwa kila wakati. Seasons can change. So what do? You plan for the what? For the season. Kwa najua namna hii, kesho kutanyesha. So make sure you have an umbrella. Are you together? Make sure that you have a place to sleep. Because when trains utafanya namna gani? Things can change, my people. I don't care how smart you are. Nasima pepo, hiyo ni maisha. Things can change. Not only in Kenya, by the way. Some of you travel. It's stuff everywhere. All over the world, it's stuff. Go to America today, you'll be surprised. Nikubaya. Go to the UK. Nikubaya. Go to India. I've been traveling a little bit. I can tell you the truth. Kila mahali nikubaya. So which means what? When things are very good, please don't be deluded. This is the time kujiwekelea kitu kingine wapi? Mbele. Now remember, okay, I'll get to that. Then behavior. People who are broke, how do we behave? There's a behavior of people who are broke. Because the way we behave with our money, like somebody said, if money was a partner, what's the relationship like? Okay? Okay? Then, our decisions. I'm going to share with you a matrix on how making decisions. And I hope it can sink in as you go along. Okay. So I'm talking about that. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy. Now, these things here are emotional. This is where you start from to regulate your behavior towards money. Unaanzianga hapa. Na hii ni kazi ya kila siku. Are you together? Ni kazi ya nini? Kila siku. Once upon I'll share with you a story. I had some friends. Around 2010. No, 2012. They told me, that time I was driving a G-Touring. By the way, mambo ya magari niliwacha nayo kitambo sana. I'm converted. Hiyo niliwacha kitambo sana. So I was driving a small, unajua G-Touring, yako gari kadogo. Kaniambia Lena, you're embarrassing us, bwana. You're embarrassing us. You can't be driving a car like this. Them they have what? Machines everywhere. You know you get emotional. You feel emotional somehow. Kina sema tu endelee tu. What I did know, all these fellas were actually renting. None of them had a house. Now today, hizo machine haziko tena. They are now, some of them are walking. Others are now driving Subaru, which is weather beaten. Others are struggling. Yet they've had money. They've had a lot of money. The problem was they allowed peer influence. Are you together? I've learned to discover people are different. Some people drive what they drive because they can afford. Are you together? Some people can't afford. So the question is, you stay in your what? In your what? Hiyo lane yako baki tu hapa utakuwa sawa. Okay. Leave that one alone. Leave that one. Now, wangapi wameshaenda kutafuta nini? Look for honey. Any villagers in the room? I'm a villager here. We used to go hunting. You can never get honey without getting chongwa. Utalimwa. Naona wewe vile amelimwa hapa hivi. You are looking for honey, prepare. Utachonga mpaka ujue. Lakini uzuri kuna consolation. Kuna nini? Now, financial success iko namna hiyo. Unless you are entrepreneur, you are not going to get money because by having life. If for you to get money, you are going to sacrifice. Utajinyima mahali. You are going to lose some comfort because there's some pain you are going to feel because you are sacrificing for a better what? Tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow is a honey. Are you together? Na sasa hizi shida ndio stress, sacrifice, setbacks, frustration. Sasa hizo ni kama nyuki. Those are things you have to accept. You cannot go and really have a stable future financially if you don't pay the price. Okay? And there's nothing painful. I tell people, heri usipate pesa. Hakuna uchungu kama kukuwa na pesa alafu upoteze nini? Pesa. If you never had money, you feel nothing. It's okay because umezoea anyway. If you never had money, you don't have money, it's okay. But if you had money and don't have money again, it is a very, very painful situation. Can you imagine? You had a car, now you can't have a car. Sasa unatembea na mguu. Si rahisi vile. Are you together? You had a house, sasa una nyumba. It's not funny. Hey, I'd rather you didn't even have anything. But some of those things, I'm not saying they can't happen. But some of them is because we didn't make good decisions. Hatukufikiria vizuri. So that's why we need to be a little bit sober and reflect, okay? Now, the good news, it doesn't matter how deep in trouble you are. The moment your mind shifts, mdogo tu, and you're on the right track, things will change, okay? The Chinese have a saying, if you don't change direction, you are going to wind up where you are headed. So the key thing is to change what? Okay? Now, let me now focus here kidogo before I take off. Financial strategies for our level. Remember how the instruments you use depends on your level. And most of us here, we share a lot in common. We are in the same level. We are struggling, all of us. Okay? And there are 4 vehicles I want us to really understand. 4 vehicles. Number 1 is what? Please, make sure you put money in a circle. A circle is a very powerful tool. Wacha niwaambie, all over the world, the Kenyan circle is the top of the world. You know that? People come here to learn about circles. At the UN, I have some work here, I do a little bit in the UN. People in the UN, most of them are Americans, others are from Britain, others are from Australia. Do you know they remove their money from their country in the pension and bring it where? To the circle. Because before things are a bit changing now, the circle used to give the highest form of interest. In the US, interest on savings is 1%. Sometimes 3%, sometimes 0.7%. So they'll bring their money and put it where? In Kenya. So a circle is a very powerful tool. And I would ask you, if you can, put money in a circle like there's no tomorrow. I'll tell you why. The good thing about a circle is that the only place you put your money and you earn a dividend. Sindio? So, even if you borrow a loan and you pay interest, you can net off the interest with a what? With a dividend. That's brilliant. Amaniaje? Smart. You are being smart. Because the same interest you are paying, at the end of the year, you get a what? A dividend. Lakini kumbuka, kazi ya sako ni kuchukua mkopo. Na kazi ya mkopo ni kutumia mkopo kununua kitu ambao itakuzalisha pesa zingine. Tafadhali, I beg you. Loans are very good, but loans are like a gun. Are you together? Ukitumia bunduki vibaya, utaumiza mtu na ujiumize pia. In the same way, loans are very powerful instruments. If you use it what? Right. All the things you see in this country, most of them are loans. Flats, loans. Houses, loans. Shambas, loans. As long as the loan is being used to create value. Are you together? But again, be very careful. Don't take a loan to go and sink money in the sand. Like some of us are very crazy. You must have a big house in the village. For what? I've never understood the psychology of putting a mansion in the village. In Busia, Yawa. A 5-bedroom house in Busia and you are broke in town. You can't rent it out, you can't even sell it. Even a headmaster can't afford to rent it. Had you put the same house in Nairobi here, you can go back to Busia and be M-Pesa kila mwezi. Papa, na iko town. So it matters. Unless, kama kuna nyumba mingi sana hapa Nairobi, when you come to bury, are you coming to see my house? You come and bury me and go. Please, go quickly. You don't come to admire my house. By the way, I don't even have a house in the village. I have my mother's house. And it's my house. All my houses are where? Here. Nikikumana, nitaenda na Busia, and I'll be getting rent in Busia. And I'll be very comfortable. But if you have money, ni sawa tu. Are you together? But don't do that as a priority. Number 2, savings. Now, savings, si sako, hii ni account ingine ya akiba ambao, I'm going to show you another formula which I learned much later in life. There's a place you put some little money, not in a circle. This money here is money you can access when you're under trouble. When you have an emergency, got broken down, there's a medical emergency. Instead of borrowing from people, by the way, I hate borrowing. I hate doing what? Borrowing. Because it reminds me of where I'm coming from. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I put some money somewhere in case kikumana na kimbia hapo na heshima. Are you together? You go and get your little petty cash, you solve your problem, and then you do that money again. So you must have a saving plan somewhere, which even if somebody is crying and they are dying, na shida yako naambia sina pesa. I'm sorry, my brother. We can pray together. In the name of, may the Lord open a door for you. Hiyo sikuzangi, I don't care how you cry. Hiyo pesa si yako. Hiyo ni my backup. I'll pray with you and wish you well. I won't touch it on your behalf. Kuna. Emotions again. I spent a lot of time in Australia. Uko osipojisort, nobody will sort you out. So you learn to put some money aside. And by the way, you guys are laughing. That's what women do. All these women you see here. Wako na pesa tamzaki lia namna gani? Analia na yeye, anampatia tissue. Mzee pole. No, nikalia wampati. Wako na these guys here. I don't know of a woman who doesn't have a backup. Na hiyo anajulikana na watu watatu. Yeye, shetani na Mungu. Iko. Si ndio? Third, pension. Tafadhali naomba ndugu zanguni. Please never imagine that your house is your pension. Are you together? Never call your business your pension. Pension is pension. It has to be hard cash. Hard what? Hiyo biashara unaringa naye inaweza ishia kesho. True. Hiyo nyumba inaweza pigwa na earthquake iende. Are you together? That is why pension must be kept as pension in hard cash somewhere. Because people who came up with this idea are not fools. They knew a time is going to reach in your life. You have no business, you have no income, and you are older, you have to eat, you have to dress. Are you together? I need some money. Are you together? Please don't ignore pension. That is a very strategic. Never use money for business again, another sin. Another sin that people make. How can you get your pension to start a business? Umekula backup. Utakufa bure. They say, alianza tu kidogo, biashara ikawa nini, akakufa. Cause of death, pension. Alikula pension. That's kufanya postmortem. Cause of death was what? Pension. We need, we've never been old. Hatujakuwa wazee. Hakuna kitu ngumu kama kuwa mzee. Wakati unafika, if you are lucky with your wife, God bless you. She can also leave you, by the way. But you need to ensure that you have some cash ambao ni yako, heshima yako. Unaenda hapo pole pole, unangoa, unakunywa soda kama unatoka Busia, unakula toast, alafu unalala. I'm telling you the truth. You will live a long life. But you know your father. You know I paid your fees. No. That one was your job. Tafadhali. People who are younger, I'm begging you, open up a pension plan. Weka pesa kidogo tu, na pesa ya pension sahau. Ukishaiweka sahau hiyo pesa. Si yako, si ya biashara, See backup, ni saa ile income inakatika pap. By the way, how many of you here send money home to your parents who were working one time before in town? Many of you, why? Because they have no income. They bought liabilities, meaning they are buying assets. You get my point? So now they have no cash flow. Hii ni kitu ambao siweze jameni, and I didn't learn this. I'm sorry. Hii sikujifunza many years ago. I learned this almost 5 years ago. That a pension is a very powerful thing. Okay, insurance. I know Kenyans with insurance. Wacha niwaambie, hakuna mtu hapa ambaye hitaji insurance. By the way, I'm a former underwriter. I have 7 diplomas in insurance. I was a claims manager, I was an underwriter, a customer service. I know this thing. Wacha niwaambie, hii kitu ni kitu hatari sana. Please don't expose yourself. I'll give you an example. I was doing some business for some people in Nakuru. Wacha niwaambie, hii nchi iko na watu wako na akili ambao hawajawahi kuelewa. So, I'd gone to talk to some people like you who go Nakuru. Smart guys, they have businesses, they own hardwares, they own shops, they own hotels. And there was one man there, he was paying a premium of $500,000 per month. Half a what? $1 million per month in insurance. Nikajiuliza huyu ni mjinga aina gani? How? I'm displaying my ignorance. Jamaa kaniambia kijana, wacha nikwambie, I'm a businessman. I need to plan my life. This man I'm putting aside, this $500,000, my target that in 5 years, I'll have 60 million. Are you together? That million is, I'll be able to get 60 million cash. No loan, no nothing. Then I can do what I want for my daughter. Number 2, in case I die, in 1 year, my wife will cry and go to the bank and remove 60 million. Now, the problem with insurance, some of us die like cockroaches. Out of kisha kufa, you are useless. You die and people cry and say, "Enyewe ni mzuri kupumzika sababu hapa after you are gone, there is a benefit." In the US, you are told the best estate for your family you can ever put is an insurance policy. Are you together? I don't suppose no utakufa anyway. So what's the problem? Still you die anyway. But I'm not selling insurance. I'm promoting insurance because I know the value. Now, the good news is the products for insurance have become very good. These products are so good that you don't make interest, by the way. It's just a force-saving plan. After 5 years, if it matures, the money you have saved, you get it back. Are you together? Sasa, hiyo pesa inaweza kuwa seed capital to start something without a what? Without a loan. Are you together? Unanielewa? And by the way, even if you don't save anyway, there will be nothing. 5 years will soon pass and you have nothing in the first place. Ama niaje? Nasema 5 years is a long time. They will pass and you still have nothing. So, what have you gained? And number 2, this insurance policy is a forced saving plan. Sababu huwezi withdraw. Ikishaingia huko in one way, so lazima unajipanga upande mwingine, si ndio? But after 5 years, what will happen? The other day, okay, I shouldn't say this. What are you kind? So, I've thought about 4 things. Tafadhali, think about it. SACCO is a must. Saving plan, account of ni mzuri. Pension, tafadhali weka pesa kidogo ya pension. Alafu kuwa na nini? Na bima. Bima iko na advantages. Some of you are still very young. In case of death, that money can help the widower or the widow, whichever, on pay school fees. But utakufa. 5 years itapita, unapata hiyo pesa. Then that money can become a seed capital, where you can start money without a what? A loan. Loans are very expensive. Ask Jonathan, he's a financial consultant. I'll tell you that. Loans are very expensive. So if you can get the money without a loan, why not? Okay. Now, here, this is a matrix I want to leave with you. It's called decision-making what? Matrix. When you are making decisions concerning money, tafadhali, adapt it. It was developed by a guy called Dr. Carson. He's a professor today. He is a medical doctor who specializes in separating conjoined twins at the what? At the brain level. So it's a very tough decision to make. So he came up with this matrix. This is what you do. When you want to spend your money, whatever you want to do, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to take a mortgage, you want to borrow, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Never make financial decisions emotionally. What did I say? You have to make them intellectually. If they don't make sense here, forget about them. Because emotions are going to mislead you. Serious decisions should never be made by emotions. Make sure your head is consulted. Are you together? Now, this is what you do. There are 4 quadrants. Here you say, jiulize, if I take this loan, what's the best advantage I'm going to get? Unaandika pa. If I take this loan, what's the worst that can happen? Pa. So you have the best and the what? Then you say, if I don't take it, what's the best that can happen? Pa. If I don't take it, what's the best? With that output, you are more competent to make an informed what? Decision. Okay? You want to start a business. You want to mortgage your house. Some of you want to mortgage your house. Are you together? Jiulize kwanza. If I take this mortgage, what's the best that can happen? Pa. If I take this mortgage, what is the worst? Because sometimes you never see the worst part of it. Are you together? Then, if I don't take it, what's the best that can happen? That information is so important. I've used this thing for my major decisions, and I'm grateful I've done that. Because sometimes emotions can mislead you. You feel I want to do something. Ukikaa chini aanze kuangalia kwenye hesabu, unaona tu, hii kitu nikiendelea hapa nitaumia. Because now you are being logical, you are being judicious and intellectual, and you can see that this is a good thing to do or a bad thing. By the way, nothing doesn't have a bad side. But the question is, can you handle the bad side? That's the question. What can I handle the bad consequences? If you can handle, go for it. It's up to you to decide. Sindio? Okay? All right. Now, here are 2 vehicles here. Kuna dereva na mteja. Are you together? That's a matatu. Pale ni dereva, hapa ni nini? When it comes to money, become the driver. Don't be a passenger. What did I say? When it comes to your money, become the driver because you decide when to stop, how to drive, and how far to go. Don't become a passenger, become your money. Hii mambo ya kuchukua pesa yako na kupatia watu, invest for me. Niplanie. Wewe niambie what happened. That is financial suicide. Utapenda. Your money, you have to be in charge. And this is my simple advice to people. Even as a couple, I'm not saying do this, but this is my belief. As a couple, let everybody have some control over money. Don't let one partner that will have dominance over the other, because if something that goes wrong, what will happen? Don't say, at my husband, the one that deals with money. See what I'm doing. Get involved and know what is happening. And vice versa. Mambo ya pesa ni mama tu anafanyana mambo ya pesa. Sasa kujua mambo ya pesa, I'm too busy. My friend, money is something all of us must be what? Get some degree of understanding of what is happening so you can have some control. Very, very important. Okay? Now, this formula here you cannot, but let me see this. You can't see it properly, but this is what we call the saving formula by experts. If you can do it, you try it. We are told, get your income. If you are single, what many people are single here? If you are single, you must not spend 40%, more than 40% of your income. 40. Expenses 40. Then you must put 50% on investment. And then 10% on saving. So in other words, it's called the 40, 50, 10 rule. So ukiwa na slim 100K, no, 10K. 10K, you must not spend more than 4,000 shillings in whatever you want to spend on. Then make sure 5,000 shillings is kept for investment. And then 10,000 for what? For emergency saving. If you have children, you have no children, then your expense must be 50% of your pay, investment 40%, saving 10%. Now, if you are married, you have children, then you put 70% expenses, 20% investment, and 10% what? Now, let me give you an example here. Why do you think China is very rich? And they're lending everybody. China has the highest saving rate in the world. Are you together? Those people, in their culture, they save over 50% of what they earn. And us? Now, usiniambia ati siwezi, wacha nikwambie. Kama uwezi, go back what I said. The poor stay poor because they plan to do what? The rich stay because of what? Wacha nikwambie. This city is very interesting. I've loved this city so much. I'll tell you what I've said about this city. Do you know hii nchi yetu hata ukiwa na shilingi 10,000 peke yake utaishi. 10k you can survive. True or not true? If you ukienda Githurai pale with 20k you have a meal. With 20 shillings utakula chapati na mbosho. True. Na utadedi. By then you are even healthier. Alafu nakuja hapo napiga makelele kwa nyumba ya Mungu. Then you go and eat your githeri. That's your season in your life. Stay in that lane. I don't believe that you have to get big money to save big money. It's a program in mind. Kama wewe save ukiwa na pesa kidogo, hata ikiwa mingi utasave. Are you together? So don't say, oh, I can't. There's no job you cannot save. You have to save at your level. Because these are rules of engagement. It's a formula. Ama ni aje? The formula for an area of a circle, it doesn't matter how big the circle is. Pi r squared, hata ikiwa kadogo, pi r squared, ikiwa kubwa sana. The formula is the same. So, even if you have a small pay, just adjust your mind and stay in your lane. Na utakufa. Are you together? Now, some of us, we have to take our children to public schools. Na hiyo pia ni sawa. Watasoma tu. Ama ni aje? Si tuenda public schools, most of us. And not your daddy. Lakini sasa, if you are going to borrow money to pay school fees in primary, what will happen in high school? So, if my formula is, what I want you to guys remember, whatever money you get, however small it is, weka allocation ya ka saving kwa sako, allocation ya expenses, allocation ya nani, ka saving mahali. So that you avoid fleezering. Fleezering is very expensive. Did you know that? You know why the poor remain poor? Whatever they are, they borrow, they pay more expensively. Only fleaser under extreme circumstances. But make sure you have a financial what? Backup. Sindio? I think I'll stop there for now. Because of time and I need to go somewhere. Any query for me? Any question for me? As a teacher, when students don't ask questions, two things have happened. Either nothing has entered, yote imepotea. Si ndio? Imepotea yote. Wajua kuna vitu hapa nimeonyesha lakini time is not on my side. So, I'll leave you for now. But, don't worry. This thing when you wake up, you wake up. Are you together? And usifikiria ati, the key thing I want you to remember is at least make sure you are working on your income. Make sure you get some income. Kama una income, hii mambo yote haisaidiangi. Make sure you have some form of what? Income. Think how you can get income. Whether you are in business or you are employed. Na ujipange. Na ukijipanga, regardless of your income, utaishi at your level and you'll be happy. Don't fear. We're not competing in life. Stay in your lane, keep your lane. I'd rather come to church happy, walking, and nobody's chasing me, than me driving people's cars and I'm being called, "Hey, wapi rent? Wewe hiyo nyumba ni yako. Acha mchezo wewe." Hey, you can't even touch God. Bless you.
Well, I think, Asha, I don't want to keep you in a point where you feel that your students have not understood anything. You have told us about three and some vehicles for financial success. One being savings, and one being the pensions. And I think I want to just, put my question on those two. And my concern is about the element of inflation.
Inflation, correct.
For example, now, if you keep saving money, we know over time this money is losing value. For example, if I've been saving, say, 100,000 shillings, two years from now, 100,000 shillings will be nothing. I mean, it will not have the same value as now. How do I mitigate myself against inflation? That's my question.
Fantastic, my brother. That's a very powerful question, and I'm glad you brought it up. For sure, nothing is permanent in this world. The state of this economy, even me, I'm in shock. I'm in what? Do you know I used to be the unpaid ambassador of this country? I would go to America and tell guys, Rudi nyumbani bwana, mnafanya nini hapa? Nyumbani ni kuzuri, kuja nyumbani. And I meant it. Even, where's Carol? Carol kwa wapi? Sister, yeah, Carol. I convinced her auntie in Houston. Mwambia mami rudi, wacha na hii maneno. Kuja home. I told her, my son, kuja nyumbani. And I meant it. Things were very good. And she actually came back. I hope she doesn't blame me anymore. Because she actually came back. Whatever has happened, truth be told, my little understanding about the economy, pia nimepata nini? Wasiwasi kiasi. However, problems teach us. There's something I want to request some of you. If you can, please open a dollar account. Open a what? A dollar account. Now, there's a pension. You can put your pension in a money market. There are some. Now, if you go to Britain, for example, you can actually buy a money market instrument in dollars. For me, in my humble understanding, that is the simplest thing I can think of to hedge against what? Inflation. For example, I had some little money some time back, and I put it all in dollars. It was $100 was 130. What's the day today? 160. So over and above the market dynamics, in terms of inflation, what has happened to that money? It has been hedged. That's why power of association. Power of what? The guys I'm hanging up with, each one of them has a dollar what? Account. Now, Siogope, even you can open one in KCB. Nobody stops you from having a dollar account. Nobody. You can go and open one. Ukipata ishirini, nunua dollar kwa black market, tumbukiza hapo, unyamanze. You never know what God can do. Sindio? Ukipata 50,000 shillings extra, you buy a dollar and put it there also. What's happening is hedging you against what? Because we don't know how the thing is going to behave. Even me, I can't tell you right now. When I can see wanaongea nasikia. So, however, the challenge we have here, our needs can't stop. You can't stop planning for your future because of inflation. Ama niaje. However, my prayer is that we used to believe in property. And by the way, I would encourage all of you to get property. Real estate was something that was really, really very, very attractive. But the returns now are becoming very small. You know why? It is so flooded by these big boys because that's why they put their money. All of them are putting up flats. They are putting up malls. So nakuta nyumba zimejaa hazina nini? Wateja. So if you are now borrowing money to put up a flat, utaumwa. Sindio? Because utapata wateja, it will be a problem. Sindio? But if you have your own money, si ya kukopa, then hiyo si kitu mbaya kuweka pesa ndani. What I don't know, my big brother, I cannot exactly tell you what will happen in the future. But my prayer is, put your ears open. Don't be oblivious of what is happening. Take interest. Skiza what is happening. So that peer will respond depending on what you hear. Okay? That's why I'm telling you, don't put money and forget about money. Put your money where you can have control over it. You say, move my money from here, niweke wapi, pale. For sure, I can tell you, inflation is going to hit us. I can feel that. Naona tu kuna, sababu vile jamaa wanaongea. The other day, the governor himself, see Mimi, he said we are broke. Sasa kama mdoza amesema is broke, who am I to say no? Sindio? Then there are some things that are being made that are very scary. So for me, for now, I have a feeling that be alert. Be alert. When you hear some things, pick some information and see what you can do about it. But meanwhile, if you have some money which is lying idle, I would rather you exchange to what? To dollars and put in a dollar account so that in case there's a depreciation, at least it's getting what? Captured. Ile ambayo iko kwa pension na zingine hizo, I think we just had to take the hit. Okay? But meanwhile, if you can afford property without financing, because now financing is becoming very expensive, the best rate has done what? Emenda juu sasa 10%, which means sasa wewe itakuwa 20%. Na hiyo ni pesa mingi sana. But then maybe next time we come, we'll talk about interest rates. Please never take a loan without understanding the cost of money. Because it can be very painful for you. So take time to understand that also. Are you together? So my brother, we are in a very interesting situation. We've never prepared for that. We've just been found ourselves there, and we don't know how long it will take. But for sure, tukue macho. Tukue nini? Macho. Yes, ma'am.
Now that you have said when you put your money somewhere, you make sure you are the driver. I would ask, how do you ensure that the business dream that you conceived is not aborted by the person you hire to carry on your business? Maybe you are not there in person.
Now, there's a problem here. And thank you, for mom. I tell people, and forgive me, don't do a business where you have no control. Because you will be compromised. Have some degree of control so that you know what is happening, when it is happening, and how it is happening. And in the business, don't have too much trust. Be suspicious. That is your defense. Be what? Now, those are bad manners. Those are bad manners. I'm not trying to spoil you guys. You know, I'm from the streets, so in the streets, you know how to operate. Don't put too much trust. So I would believe that that's why we are told. We should be told. Now, what is very interesting, and Pastor Jonah will tell you, the instruments in the market are also dependent on the state of the economy. Are you together? Now, our economy is making us scratch our head because the things we used to think can work are beginning to do what? For example, the other day, Stanchart, one of the biggest investors in the stock market, they withdrew over 6 billion. Sababu. So if the big boys are moving their money from there, who am I to put my money there? Ask yourself. So that was a very good word. In economics, you fundishwa that government instruments are the safest. True, not true? Is it true anymore? Go to Ghana, you'll find out what happened. They have something called the haircut, whereby you lose your money, a percent of it, plus the interest. So now we are in a very dilute situation. And I'm not pretending to know. All I can request you people, be curious. Be what? Curious. So sijifiche, jiulize what is happening there, nusa pa kidogo, ili pia oji boreshe. Don't sit comfortable. Together? However, when it comes to business, I want to warn many people. By the way, do you know, don't think that every business is making money. At Nikona Biashara. Some guys are just struggling in life. Sindio? Please, any business you are doing, don't eliminate your capacity to control the business. Make sure you control the business. Because if you don't do that, utaumia. Utamuka na pesa imeenda. Okay? There's a principle they say, make sure your capital is protected. Whatever business you get in, make sure the working capital is done what? The question is how? Sasa hiyo majibu, wacha Holy Ghost ikusaidie. Muulize, teach me how to protect my what? My capital. And that is why real estate is very safe. You know why? Because the capital is always secure. Unapata tu rent. Capital iko hapo. Matokeo yanakuja capital iko sawa. Si ndio? Kama kuna makosa kidogo ni tu painting na kitu kidogo. So the asset is always intact. That's why you are called the landlord. There are only two lords in the earth, Lord Jesus and landlord. Thank you so much.
Praise God. Was that not a very educative session we've had? Let's put our hands together. Maybe we stand up and stretch and just appreciate God. I personally have enjoyed every bit of it. And I feel like Leonard, everybody is saying that this was just the introduction. Isn't it? It was just the introduction. And when I was speaking to Afuba, I told him, we were just knowing you. So how many people want another time? It was very educative. So thank you so much, Leonard, and everybody that has spoken. Thank you so much, Japheth here. You started off so well. Let's put our hands for our presenters, Japheth. You did so well. Now, I've come here to invite you to come back tomorrow. How many people don't want to come back? So we all want to come back, isn't it? So tomorrow is our second anniversary as House of Transformation at the river here, celebration. And our Bishop, Dr. Alois Rutivi, is going to be the one leading the celebration tomorrow. And we are starting off at 11 a.m. We'll start the celebration. And I want to extend my invitation to all of you that are here and your friends. Come, we celebrate together. And the same way you have enjoyed today, you will enjoy tomorrow. And that's my first announcement. My second announcement is that we are not yet done. So I don't want you to start dangling your keys, start thinking about home. We have a meal that we have prepared for you. The first one was an appetizer. And I believe we all took the appetizer. So we have a meal now. So don't go without taking a meal. Behind us is a very good meal. Interact, talk to people. Don't rush. Some of these people you have not seen for many years or months. So just take some time before you go. So thank you so much. But before I go,